One thing that I learned over these last 2 years of casually dating and figuring out what I want, and one that's going to seem really obvious to others, but I didn't really realize I wasn't doing this until it hit me, is that you really do have to love yourself first before you can be a good partner for somebody. And that's not to say that I don't love myself. I do. But I wasn't loving myself the way I want to be loved, you know? For a while, I found myself really solely attracting people who were very clear from the beginning that they didn't want a relationship. And I thought that if I were smart enough or pretty enough or funny enough or changed myself into the person I thought that they wanted, that they would change their minds and want to be with me. And that is just not the case. And that is nobody's fault. They never lied. They never treated me any differently. They just didn't want a relationship. And I took that really hard. I thought that meant that there was something wrong with me. And I went through a very lonely, very sad place.
Isn't it amazing, gentlemen, how a lot of these girls will always manage to paint themselves as the victim, right? You've got all of these women out here who are sick and tired of hookup culture, right? They are sick and tired of being unable to lock down the man that they want. And now that she's gone through all this and she's gone through those many dudes, she has learned to love herself, and now she demands a real and authentic relationship. Guys, this is the story of many modern women as they get into their late 20s. They start to realize that they're not going to be able to lock down a man if they keep on chasing Chad. So what do, guys? They say, oh, if you're a real man, you've got to come out here and step up. And I've just been so hurt by my past, and it's been so difficult for me. When in actual fact, guys, they've just been casually dating these past many years. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor The Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we are going to be kicking off today's episode by breaking down a clip from this woman right here, guys, who is just sick and tired of hookup culture, and now she's learned her lesson and she is ready to love herself. But guys, before we jump into it, as always, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link is at the top of the description and probably in the pinned comment as well, guys. It is totally free to go and join. There's more content over there. Archived content is totally free for people. There's also supporter content if you're interested, just in case we get booted off the platform by Susan, guys. Make sure that you come and join over there. But let's take a listen to what this woman has to say and break it down piece by piece. Remember, guys, to leave your thoughts and your comments.
One thing that I learned over these last 2 years of casually dating and figuring out what I want.
Yeah, because that's what we're calling it nowadays, right, guys? Like, people use all sorts of adjectives nowadays to describe hooking up with strangers. Oh, we're just talking. Oh, we're just hanging out. Oh, I'm just finding myself, finding out what I want, right? This is the thing that's sold to men so often, right? You'll hear these girls say, oh, my past totally sucks, and, I had it so rough, but now I've done my healing and I'm here for you, a real man. But what that really means, guys, is she spent many years out here having fun, doing her thing that I can't really say on YouTube, right? And now she's ready to have she's quote unquote settling, right? She's going for that guy who's not going to leave her, who's going to put up with her crap, and ultimately she's not going to respect him. But let's continue.
And one that's going to seem really obvious to others, but I didn't really realize I wasn't doing this until it hit me, is that you really do have to love yourself first before you can be a good partner for somebody. And that's not to say that I don't love myself. I do.
Then what's the issue, right? If you say the problem is that you need to love yourself, but you do love yourself, like, where you notice how these girls just use like this random whimsical language that makes no sense at all, guys. Like, oh, I just need to love myself, I need to respect myself, right? Like, notice how, by the way, guys, self-respect, loving herself, doing all this crap, all of it flies out. Morals, okay, all of this stuff flies out the window for men who they're attracted to. It really does, guys. Now, does that mean that you can't get a girl if you're not 6'4"? No. Does that mean you can get a girl if you're 5'6"? Yes. The point that I'm trying to make here, gentlemen, is that notice how her sense of self-worth, her self-respect, her self-love, whatever you want to, whatever fluff words you want to use, all of these things get thrown out the window when someone attractive comes along. Okay, and these girls, like, I 100% believe what she says right here, guys. You know, a lot of these women, what they do when they try and lock down Chad is they change themselves. They change their personality, they change their interests, they change the way they look to try and get that one guy to commit, right? And they do this until they rock up to around 30 years of age, and then they realize that the situation is untenable.
But I wasn't loving myself the way I want to be loved, you know?
Yeah, the guy that you're interested in wouldn't commit to you. Let's wind that back, okay? Look.
But I wasn't loving myself the way I want to be loved, you know?
Yeah, in other words, guys, she can't get the commitment from the man that she wants. Like, she won't get out of the relationship what she puts in other words.
For a while, I found myself...
Or lack of relationship, should I say. Like, she never really... These girls, they don't have relationships with these men. They have situationships where these girls are like, oh, maybe I can lock him down, right? Maybe if I just keep going and, you know, going and going, maybe I can get that 2% chance of locking down that guy, but it never actually happens.
Really solely attracting people who were very clear from the beginning that they didn't want a relationship.
You're not attracting those people. Those are just the men that you choose. I have to say this every time because these women say, look, oh, I attract all of these men who don't want to commit to me. I attract all of these bad boys. No, no, no. You attract men in general. Like any girl who wakes up and takes a bath, guys, and who doesn't eat an obscene amount of McDonald's is going to go out there and she's going to attract men. The reason why these girls say that they only attract dudes who have quote-unquote bad intentions or only want to have fun with her is because those are the men who she actually ends up with. Those are the men who she, you know, engages with. Let me play that back. Look.
You know, for a while, I found myself really solely attracting people who were very clear from the beginning that they didn't want a relationship.
Yeah, so
and
here's my thing. What's the problem then? Okay, the men that you're talking to, they clearly don't want a relationship, and yet here we are making a TikTok about how it was so difficult for you. I'm confused as to what was unclear, right? It's what you could, like, these girls, they say it's so difficult, but it's not as if it's really hard to figure out that these men are not going to commit to you. You waste these years of your life, you turn around at the end and you say, where have all of the good men gone? But the years you that you wasted chasing these dudes who don't want you, it's not as if it was unpredictable. A lot of the men, yeah, they won't necessarily tell you, but it's damn obvious that they're not going to commit to you, so I don't see what the problem is here. But see, it starts to become a problem for her, guys, when she's like, oh crap, like, you know, I'm really running out of time here, I need to love myself, and then the strategy starts to change.
And I thought that if I were smart enough or pretty enough or funny enough or changed myself into the person I thought that they wanted, that they would change their minds.
And you know what, guys, like I believe her when she says this. Like, I really do. These women, they change everything about themselves, right? They wear ridiculous amounts of makeup, they put on the filters, they change their entire personalities, they lie about what they're interested in. Guys, like, for those of you who have had, like, you know, women who have just been like obsessed with you, you can tell them that you like, I don't know, like a band, and then that girl will run away and she'll go and she'll listen to every single one of the songs that that band has played so that now she can try and communicate and get to know you better the next time. Right? This is the kind of crap I'm talking about. And they're like, oh, I'm carrying all the emotional labor in the relationship. You don't have a relationship with the guy. Right? That's why I have no sympathy, guys. That's like, you know, that's like dudes out here just commenting on girls' photos, telling them they're beautiful and, oh, like giving them all the free validation and the free attention and then going, you know what? These girls suck. I do all of the emotional labor. Why? Right? First of all, that term is stupid. Second of all, why? You know, like, you're doing all this for people who aren't interested in you. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're a girl. I don't understand why people spend so much of their life trying to put effort into people who don't want them. It is the biggest waste of time, like among other vices, right? But it is such a big waste of time, guys.
And want to be with me. And that is just not the case. And that is nobody's fault. They never lied. They never treated me any differently. They just didn't want a relationship. And I took that really hard. I thought that meant that there was something wrong with me.
Can you guys imagine, right? Like someone tells you they don't want a relationship, and it's like very clear that they don't want a relationship, and then you continue to invest in the person, continue to waste your damn time, and then you're hurt by it. It's like that's not the person doing that to you. That's you doing it to yourself.
And I went through a very lonely, very sad place.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was very lonely and sad, guys, and we should all, be incredibly sympathetic and all that kind of crap. But hey, let's continue on to the next clip, guys. As always, these ones are going to be a bit of a mix-up. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments for these either. So let's continue.
Getting to the point where I can't even tell my friends about if I'm talking to a guy or not, because it's like, I get all excited, I tell them all about it, and then 3 weeks later, they're like, so, how's Mike? And I'm like, who the fuck is Mike?
Can you imagine, right? Like you're a girl and you sit there complaining about dating, but every week you can't even remember who the previous guy from the previous week is. Like, that's not a dating problem, that's a you problem. Okay, that's not things being difficult for you, that's you making it difficult for yourself. You see, these people, guys, who complain like this and say that, like, dating is hard, despite having access to, like, 90% of the dating pool, I have no sympathy for them. Absolutely no sympathy. Right? Like, what are we supposed to do, guys? Just get around in a circle and cry for these individuals who think that dating is so incredible? It's not difficult for them.
Oh, how's Mike? And I'm like, who the fuck is Mike?
Oh my God, what do? I'm a whore for attention. I'm an attention. Roses are red and violets are blue. There ain't a man on this planet that can tell me what to do.
Hey, and you know what? That's totally fine. Whenever I see clips like this, guys, like, I laugh to myself. Because, like, the only people that these people are harming is just themselves. Like, really. If you say, like, oh, men ain't crap and I'm this and I'm that, it's like, I just smile to myself and go, okay, yeah, we'll see how you go when you're 40 years of age and you're alone and nobody wants to talk to you. Because the thing is, like, people might talk to you because you look a particular way, okay? But what happens when your looks start to fade? And even if you have good looks, which, you know, is arguable, but even if you have good looks, okay, a lot of people don't want to deal with you beyond those looks. Like, you'll hear girls complain all the time that, you know, dudes only want one thing and it's disgusting. Like, we've all heard the meme by now, you know, men only want one thing and it's damn disgusting. But the thing is, like, there's nothing more there for men to want. So what are you complaining about? You're like, oh, men only use me for this, men only use me for that. But then you look at their personality and it's like, yeah, of course. Like, why would a guy sit there and have a 2-hour-long conversation and get to know you when it's just unpleasant?
There ain't a man on this planet that can tell me what to do.
So in an attempt to be mature and be honest with people, I told this man who's been trying to hook up with me for weeks and I've just been flaking on him. I told him, I was like, okay, like, honestly, I don't see myself being able to make time for you. I'm really busy right now. I'm sorry I've been so flaky. His response to that was, nice. I'm done.
Yeah, and like you waste. So this guy who you have no intention of getting with, you agree to plans with him, and then you flake on him, and then you're confused when he says the word nice to you. Right, this is the kind of crap, guys. I saw a comment like quite a while ago now of a guy saying that, you know, he was talking about the fact that he would always be in this girl's friend zone, and after watching some of these videos, he realized that it was a stupid idea and he finally just up and left it. And I thought that was good to hear. Because what a lot of dudes don't seem to understand is that girls by default will waste your time. I encourage you guys, okay, if you're a dude who's out there choosing to date right now, if you go on a date with a girl and you do not lead the date, good luck to you, my friend. Good luck to you. You know, it's crazy to me how men will go out on dates and like just not plan anything and like leave it up to the girl, nothing's gonna happen. You know, you know what I mean? Like she's gonna be like, oh, I don't know where to go, like all this kind of crap, guys. Just make the decisions, right? And if the girl doesn't show up, if she doesn't reply, just ghost her. Just stop talking to her, man. You don't owe these girls anything, and the thing is, by default, they will waste your time and then blame you for it. Right? This woman agreed to plans with this man, flaked on him multiple times, and then gets confused when the guy says nice when she finally tells him that she has no intention of seeing him. Right? You just wasted. You're lucky this dude just like didn't cuss you out, which obviously is a terrible idea to do, but you know, there's many universes here where the man just like says some mean words to you and then blocks you, but he just says nice, and all of a sudden you're the victim.
As nice. I'm done.
I'm a single mom, I work from home, and I live in a retirement community. So unless I meet a guy on TikTok, I will not be getting into a relationship.
The funny thing is, she could still get into a relationship, but of course she won't. But let's continue past this clip.
The more generous you are to a man, the more inclined he is to take advantage of you. Because even in your head, you're just trying to be nice, right? But to them, this is you feeling like you're not worthy enough, so you have to buy them things or do things for them to prove your own sense of self-worth. And being that you already knew he was jealous of you from the get, and you thinking that doing more things for him was somehow going to make him not feel that way, you're sadly mistaken. It's just going to make him resent you more. Illogical, right? But that's how they are. And
Yeah, guys, apparently we're illogical. So this woman's argument is that you shouldn't be doing things for men because men are inherently ungrateful and they will view you as not respecting yourself, and they will double down and sucker more out of you. Now, this would be fine logic, except it's just not. Because the thing is, the majority of men are not like this. The majority of men appreciate effort. Okay, but the majority of men do not get effort. Whenever girls make TikToks like these, they're not actually, I've said this many times, they're not actually talking about men. They're just talking about the small subset of men that have many options. The guys who have many options, yeah, you could put effort into them, but they're just going to go see the next girl, of course. Of course, that's exactly what they're going to do. And you would think after all this time that these girls would know this, but of course not. A regular guy, he's going to appreciate your effort. I've said this many times as well, but dudes don't ask for a lot in relationships. They don't ask for a lot in dating. They really don't. Dating for most men is absolutely nightmarish. Okay, they do not get girls who put in effort. Most men, when they're out here dating, they get flaked on, they get treated like crap, they get ghosted, all these kinds of things. These things happen to girls, but only from the top percentage of men. So it's a very different problem, and this girl's logic is just ridiculous.
losing respect for you because they know how they treat you, and them knowing that you know how they treat you and you're still willing to do all this stuff for them, it's a wrap. They don't view that shit as generosity or kindness or you just trying to be nice. That shit is a loophole for them. Because when you're constantly giving them all this stuff and they treat you like crap, it's only reinforcing their behavior because they say, okay, well, when I treat her like crap, she feels the need to constantly prove herself. Don't do this.
Yeah, and you know what? You can make advice like this, but no girls are going to listen to you. Right? That's the thing. Like, you can make videos like this all day saying that, you know, you shouldn't invest all your time into chads, because that's really what she means here. It's not men in general. But the thing is, women are going to continue to go out and they are going to continue to do these things. And then at the end of it, they will blame men. Right? Because the girls who invest all this stuff, have you guys noticed, like, if you just like listen to women, okay, what they tell you is that relationships treat them difficult. Treat them poorly, excuse me, right? If you listen to girls talk about dating, oh, it's like, it's so difficult for them. It's so hard for them, right? And you think about that for a second, you're like, wait a minute, that's some BS. And the reason that it's BS, guys, is because girls invest into men who have no interest in committing to them, and then they complain about the results, okay? Men in general don't get, like, anything. Like, the average dating life of a guy absolutely sucks. The average dating life of a woman, she has access to a great pool of men, but she never chooses those men, right? And that's the most ridiculous thing, is because when you look at this from the outside, guys, and you listen to these women say these things, a lot of guys will go, oh, well, I'll be your boyfriend, I'll be your husband, I'll pay your bills. But that's not what they really want. They want the a-holes, they want the liars, they want the cheaters, and they want the scammers. And guys, I say, let them go. You know, if they want to go do all this stupid crap, just let them go.
Why, when I treat her like crap, she feels the need to constantly prove herself. Don't do this.
Things single women aren't doing anymore, part 20. The 20th thing we're not doing anymore is trying. We're not trying anymore. You can call it dating if you want. I don't like to use the word dating because I don't think modern dating culture actually involves any dating at all. I think it just involves a lot of effort that is never rewarded with a relationship. So from now on, we are not trying.
What did I just say, guys? What did I just say? If you ask women about their dating experience, you'll get an answer like this crap. Right, of, oh, they're just putting in all the effort and they're not rewarded with a relationship, so now I'm just done trying and I love myself now. Maybe you should select different men, okay? But no, see, that's not what happens, right? What they do is they go out and they choose these men, right? And then they blame all men. Like, listen to how this is directed at men in general. Like, women are sick and tired of trying. Check this out. Things single women aren't doing anymore, part 20.
Anymore is trying. We're not trying anymore.
You were never trying to begin with. The only people that you were trying with is a very small subset of men. That is the only dudes you are trying with are the dudes who don't want you. So, you know, you can continue to do the same thing over and over again, but if you expect different results, then that's on you. You know, especially as you go into 30 plus years of age, is like you are just wasting your time, because no guy who has a bunch of options, whether that be from money, whether that be from looking good, wants to sit around and go, you know what, I'm going to commit to this girl, I'm going to have a relationship with this girl, I'm going to risk my assets, I'm going to risk my future by getting with the girl who couldn't even secure a relationship by the time she was 30 plus years of age. Like, I don't think these individuals understand what it really communicates when you are 30 plus years of age and you still don't have a boyfriend or a husband. Now, if you don't want a boyfriend or a husband, that's totally fine. But if you wanted a boyfriend or a husband, you should damn well have one by 30 years of age. And if you don't, it is not the men's fault that you have been unable to get one, because you have plenty of options up until that point.
You can call it dating if you want. I don't like to use the word dating because I don't think modern dating culture actually involves any dating at all. I think,
yeah, you know what it involves? I agree with her, guys. Modern dating culture doesn't involve dating. Do you know what it involves? It involves just asking girls over, and if they say no, then fine. It doesn't matter, because there's going to be another one. Right? You'll see like interviews of girls, guys. Again, there was like an interview series thing done recently with 3 YouTubers that maybe you guys have heard of. Austin Dunham, Steph is Cold, FitX Fearless. Those guys went to like Miami Beach or whatever and asked girls, you know, do you hook up on the first date? And, you know, you get the girls who would lie and say no and whatever. And some of them said, oh, it depends on the guy. But the answer is yes. The answer is 100% yes, okay? So what women have done is they've collectively devalued themselves. That's what they've done. You can call it being empowered, you can call it being strong and independent, but the fact of the matter remains is, why am I going to put a ring on you if the last guy that got with you, all he had to pay was the price of a soft serve ice cream at McDonald's? Let's continue.
I think it just involves a lot of effort that is never rewarded with a relationship. So from now on, we are not trying. We are not trying anymore. Here's why. All of that trying.
I just don't care. Like, the thing is, guys, like, you get to 30 plus years of age and you say you're not trying with men. It's like, okay, but nobody is listening. You know, you can make your TikToks until everyone's ears hurt, but nobody really cares. But you know what, guys? Let's humor her and let's hear why.
All of that effort that you have put into trying to find someone, has it worked yet? Has it worked yet? I'm asking. If you're single and you're watching this video, it hasn't worked yet. And I'm not saying this to be a huge bitch. I'm saying this to let you know that trying never has to work. Also, think of all the couples you know right now. Are they together because they were aggressively trying to find each other? Or are they together because they met through friends, met at work, met on an airplane? I don't know. Think about it.
Yeah, guys, think about it. Think about it from the girl who is single, 30 plus years of age, and who is frustrated and done putting in effort with dating, because I am sure that she knows best. But gentlemen, let's jump into today's magazine article, because goodness gracious me, I am getting a headache reading that crap. Now, I had one pulled up right here. Hopefully, I still have the screen set up for the magazine. But check this out, okay? So we have an article, and if you guys are wondering, like, this all ties into marriage, okay? And we have an article here that is titled, "Don't Marry Someone Who Asks You to Sign a Prenup. Prenups are planning for failure." And of course, guys, this was written by a woman. And let me just say this right off the bat, okay? Prenups don't do a whole lot. They really don't. They're really easy to void, and a lot of them do get voided in the court of law, okay? But this woman is trying to make the argument that you should never marry a man who tries to make a prenup with you because he is planning for failure. So let's take a listen to what this clown has to say. Marriage in modern society is a contract that, statistically speaking, 50% of people will break. It is a coin toss. Either you end up with the love of your life or with a spiteful ex-husband who's trying to fight for you for the custody of the kids, or an evil ex-wife who's trying to claim ownership for half of your financial assets. Apparently, that's why it's so important to get a prenuptial agreement signed before tying the knot. Now, assuming that they worked, yes, it is, because you know what? You have all of these. Here's what happens, guys. It's literally just a timeline. The girls that I showed you from these TikToks, what ends up happening is a lot of them get to 30 plus years of age and they say to themselves, right, I need to lock down a guy. So what kind of man do they lock down? They lock down a stable guy who is not going to leave them. Okay, and what I mean by stable guys is typically the men that they go after. They have some decent amount of money, or they're financially stable. And this is why I say, if you're a dude and you've been grinding away at your career, whether you're a plumber or whether you're a spinal surgeon, if you've got that money stacked away, unfortunately you have a target on your back. Now, a lot of these girls, they go out here and they get in relationships with these men, and what do? They get married very, very quickly, and they take them for a lot of their assets. Now, you as a guy are shamed if you would like to have a prenup, or if you would like to try and avoid them taking all of your money. Let's continue. If you have any assets worth protecting, you should make sure that they are safe from the clutches of the person love with your whole heart and are about to marry. Right, I don't know what the grammar is going on here. Does anyone else think there's something wrong with that sentence? How can you commit to spending the rest of your life with a person while still taking precautions in case they transform into a money-grabbing monster in 5 or 20 years? The whole concept is strange to me. A prenup basically says, I don't completely trust you with my money, or even I love you, but I don't completely trust that this thing will work out. What a way to gaslight dudes. You don't trust me with your money? You don't trust me with your financial assets? Nope. Hell no. I don't care if I've known you 20 years. I don't care if I've known you 5 minutes, right? But these girls will act like, you're insecure. You need to go out here and you need to take unnecessary risks for us, or else you don't really love me. Right, you want to talk about gaslighting, guys? That's some gaslighting for you. You don't really love me if you're trying to protect your assets that you have spent a large portion of your life accruing. I mentioned this on another episode recently, guys, but there was a man I saw who posted a comment saying that, he went through many years of therapy to try and change his marriage, to try and fix his marriage, and he spent over $100,000 US dollars, I'm assuming, trying to fix his marriage, and it never worked. Guys, the risks that men are told to take for the sake of quote-unquote love is absolutely ridiculous, especially when that love is contingent on men having resources in the first place. It's ridiculous. Let's continue with the article. When you marry someone, the goal is generally for your two separate lives to become one. You are joined to your spouse at the highest level of commitment recognized by modern society. Perhaps that's why we are so obsessed with marriage. We want to know that a person is truly committed to us for life, come hell or high water. It's a comforting notion, but modern marriages don't seem to truly turn out that way. And you know why modern marriages don't truly seem to turn out that way? Is because modern marriages are no longer traditional marriages. In modern marriages, you are incentivized to leave your partner. Okay, women are incentivized to break up families. They are incentivized to break up relationships because on the other side of that breakup, they get money, they get access to children, they get access to the dude's assets. All right, but of course, we're just going to throw that out the window, or even with all of this in mind, say that men should not try and protect themselves. Absolutely classic, fantastic logic. With 50% of marriages ending in divorce, no wonder people go into it planning for how things will look when it's all over. No wonder people want to iron out the details beforehand, so the split will be as seamless and as tangle-free as possible. I'm not saying that you should be ignorant of the risks, but if you are going to marry someone, you should have enough faith in the relationship to believe that the risk is worth the reward. If you're concerned with planning for your divorce than planning for the wedding, if you're more concerned with planning for your divorce than planning the wedding, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. If you truly believe that you and your partner have a 50-50 shot of getting it right, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. If you feel the need to protect yourself and your assets from the person you claim to love more than anyone else in the world, maybe you shouldn't be getting married. Hey, that's true. You know what? I agree. I don't think that men should be getting married. I don't think that men should be going out here risking all of their assets because it is a silly idea. Now, if there are dudes out there who are watching this who want to get married, good luck to you, my friend. I will say I absolutely wouldn't recommend it. But guys, let's jump into today's Reddit story, and then we are going to wrap up today's episode. So let's take a read of this. And this is on the Dating Over 30 subreddit, guys, where frequently a lot of women go to try and cope with their loneliness. So let's take a listen to this. Are there any tips for a mid-30s woman on how to best use online dating to meet men? Online dating feels very slow these days for me. I'm a 30-year-old female. I get likes, but I can't see them unless I pay to have access. When I do meet someone in person, it's not actually an issue. We get along very well and they want to meet up again. But I'm having a hard time finding men to meet up with in the first place. My profile is pretty elaborate and my photos are decent, so I don't really know what more I can do. Should I be sending more messages? I have sent a few out in the past, but they usually get rejected. Or when someone does respond, he puts in almost no effort. So let's tie this together, okay, guys? We have here a 30-year-old woman who is on online dating, and despite being able to go out and, have dates with men, and oftentimes those men still want to see her afterwards, she just can't see enough men, apparently. She needs to see more men. So what does she do? She jumps onto an online, onto this subreddit and asks for advice about online dating. Disgusting. I have sent out a few in the past, but I get rejected. That tells me he just wasn't interested in the first place. Then that leads me to rely on men who actually initiate messages because it means they're actively looking. Most of those messages are just generic and or copy pasted, so I doubt they even look through my profile. Isn't that a beautiful thing, guys? Like, that actually makes me smile to hear. Yeah, chivalry is dead. Right, what do you expect from online dating? What do you expect? And the funny thing is, you can still meet up with these men. This woman just said that she can meet up with men. She can continue to go along and have relationships with them because the men are interested in seeing her again and again. But of course not, guys. She wants the men who reject her. And of course, like this subreddit, this post right here has 57 likes on it. So people are going, oh, it must be so hard to deal. Yeah, ridiculous. I just don't know what more I can do. Should I send more first messages? I can't help but think that men are not as interested if a woman initiates a message first. It discourages them from putting in effort. What do you ladies think? Men can chime in as well. Anyways, I'm looking for tips if you've got any. Or is this just how things are? This is just how things are. Right. Is it because I'm just older now and the dating pool has thinned a lot? Online dating was not like this in my 20s. Or has online dating really just gone downhill these last 5 years? Look at that, guys. Online dating was not like this in my 20s. Yeah, funny how that works. Guys, we are going to be calling today's episode there. As always, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments below, guys. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to drop a comment. That is what the comments box is for. As always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the description, guys. We will be posting some archived content over there shortly as well. There are going to be, videos missing here and there from this YouTube channel as we slowly move stuff over there. Just in case Susan decides to yeet us off the platform, guys, make sure you go and join. It's totally free. There's a support option if you're interested. But otherwise, gentlemen, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I will be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo, what is going on, guys? Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's video. Before you head out, there's just a few announcements that I'd like to make. The first is that my editor, who goes through all of the blood, sweat, and tears of putting together these videos for us to endure, has started his own YouTube channel. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description below, so make sure that you go and show him some support by going and giving him a sub. Also, at the very bottom of the video descriptions, there is a link for those of you who are interested in becoming an editor. I'm not sure how long I'm going to leave these applications open for, but if you're interested in working with me behind the scenes, there will be a link at the very bottom of the video description. Lastly, guys, as always, don't forget to come and join us over on Locals. You guys might have noticed that a lot of YouTube content creators are kind of branching off to different platforms, and that's because we really don't know what we're allowed to say or do, and a lot of us don't really know how long we will be around for. So guys, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. It's totally free to join. There's a support option if you're interested. There's also exclusive content and stuff like that over there, but it's totally free if you're just wanting to go and join, guys. The link is in the description, so make sure that you come and join us. But as always, guys, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.